All right, what is up, everybody? Shadow Scout 0013 here, reporting in for another list build. Today, I'm going to talk about a double bounty, kind of like the new double bounty rules, and kind of what I did in my last game, and the other possibility of what you can do, and just some fun ways to run a double bounty list. So, I mean, obviously, we're going to have two bounty hunters, and before I get into it, go ahead, like, subscribe, and leave a comment below of what you would do, how you would play them with a double bounty list, or kind of like another list you'd like to see, or one of your favorite, you know, bounty hunters, kind of anything. Just go ahead and leave it below. But we'll go ahead and get started. So I'm going to go with Boba Fett because Boba Fett's awesome and the best, in my opinion, because I just like Boba Fett. And the other two that you can choose from are either Bossk or Cad Bane, because that's what I'm doing. Okay, if you really love Cad Bane, then you could choose between Bossk and Boba Fett. But honestly, I think Boba Fett's going to be the best. Surging to crit, surging to defense. He's got 3 in melee now, which is way better. 3 red than 2 red, like he used to have. He's got 3 black in range 1 to 2 rather than the 2 black that he used to have, and it gained versatile, which is freaking awesome. He's got range 1 to 3, 2 black, pierce 1, which is really good. Jump 2, arsenal 2, so he can, shoot the integrated rockets at someone and then shoot the carbine at someone or combine them, kind of up to you. Impervious, which is awesome because now you can roll an extra red dice surging to defense for every pierce that there is. So pierce 1 will give you an extra red dice. Pierce 2 will give you 2 extra red dice. Independent, aim 1 or dodge 1. So at the start of the activation phase, if you don't have an order token, you can gain an aim or a dodge. I personally always choose dodge. It just depends on where he's at, honestly. If he's about to, have to make an attack, obviously I'm going to go with an aim. But to keep him alive and to make sure that he keeps the bounties, I usually go with as many dodges as I can. That's just me. Sharpshooter 2, so there's never any cover at all. As soon as he sees them, they don't have anyone. No cover. He's got 2 training slots, 2 gear slots, and a comm slot now. And you can still only take him at Empire. Okay, not bad. We're going with him. Now, in order to take another bounty hunter, we're going to have a commander. And for me, I'm just going to go with a generic Imperial commander. Spider 1, Inspire 1, Sharpshooter 1. Not the greatest, but for a very, very cheap unit that will be able to allow us to have double bounty, we're going to take her. So Underworld Connections. So you gain allies of convenience. So normally you're allowed to have 1 mercenary unit that's anything other than a core, along with 2 core. So I could have 2 core mercenary units and a Boba Fett. In order to bring another unit, basically of any rank, I'd have to have this. And this also allows me to give out orders to friendly mercenary units. Now, again, their courage value is left onto them. It's just handing out orders. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and give it Underworld Connections so that way we can go ahead and take someone else. I was going to go with Cad Bane first. Okay. So he's got jump 1. So there's lots of jumping. Bounty, he's got bounty just like Boba Fett. Danger Sense 3, which was Danger Sense 2. So he's now going to be able to roll an extra white dice surging to defense for every surge token he has, suppression token he has up to 3. So if he has 3 suppression, he can roll 3 extra white defense dice. It's not the same as, impervious, but it can help. Okay. Anyway, no, I don't think it helps. No, not at all. It doesn't help. You'll still get pierced. My bad. But it's a great way to continue dodging and making sure you take less damage. Sharpshooter 1, so, reduced to light cover. And the great thing about Cad Bane and Boba Fett is if they have to go over anyone with low profile, that person loses low profile. So if you just are going up against some sort of snipers because you're getting close and, you're trying to take them out. If anyone has low profile, Sharpshooter takes that away. That's just kind of like a side thing for you guys. And then he has steady, which is awesome. So now he can move, and then shoot for free at range 1 to 2. 4 black dice at pierce 1, surging to crit. So at range 1 to 2, it's one less dice than Boba Fett, still surging to crit. So that's why I like Boba Fett so much. Now he's got 3 black dice in martial arts, surging to crit, which is still cool. He's got 6 health, 3 courage. So they're both going to have 3 courage instead of the 2 courage that Bossk has. And a plethora of upgrades that you can bring for him. So we're going to go with him. Let's go ahead and deck them out since they are pretty much our main guys. For Boba Fett, this is how I usually kit him out, is I'll usually have Hunter to get that free aim just in case. Now with the fact that he has independent dodge or aim, I'm taking situational awareness to make him a little bit harder to kill anyway, easier to live. And then if, you needed to, you can give him emergency transponder in case you wanted to take an aim and then you need the emergency transponder to take a dodge, or you take a dodge and maybe you realize, hey, I need an aim. You can go with the emergency transponder, give yourself the aim, already have a dodge, move, get a second aim from Hunter, and then make sure that hopefully you're in range 2. If not, at range 1 to 3, you should hopefully be able to have enough aims to reroll. So you can go with emergency transponder. For now, let's just go with it. And then prepared supplies, just in case he needs an extra dodge. Also, because he has situational awareness, this is going to make sure that if he gets into the thick of it, which he's going to have to be, he's going to last. Now, the strategy behind Boba Fett and Cad Bane is that I want Cad Bane to kind of do as much damage to the bounty as possible, and then have Boba Fett just kind of at a distance with his jetpack rocket, or hopefully his range 1 to 3 gun, take that person out and claim the bounty and get away. That's what I wound up doing with Bossk. Is I wound up taking out his Cassian and supposedly in the second round, took out his Cassian, and with the jetpack rocket, claimed the bounty. Then he had Sabine. So I was using Bossk at the time because in the TTS at the moment, the new Cad Bane isn't in there. So I was using Bossk to go after Sabine. He was able to do 3 damage to her, and then Boba Fett pulled out the rest of the last 2, was able to claim the 2 bounties, and then get into the deployment zone for breakthrough, and he was 3 points himself. So that is really, really helpful. But yeah, that's up to you. So now we'll go ahead and get Cad situated. There's a few different things you can go with him. Duck and cover is a great one to have since he has danger sense. And because he has a command card that gets rid of a lot of suppression. You could also do situational awareness, which I think is a must because of the fact that for Cad Bane, he's got independent dodge too. So at the start of the activation phase, if he didn't have an order token, he's going to gain 2 dodges. So that is strong in itself. So if you just don't give him anything, he's going to be able to, take those 2 dodges. So, and because he's going to be close, probably because of his 3 pip that you're going to divulge, I would take Electro Gauntlets just in case. Now, you don't have to, because if you do put him up close and you know that he's going to be basically taking a hit very, very quickly, all you have to really do is if you are trying to get him in, try to do some damage, make him as cheap as you can. But he's a very expensive person anyway to begin with, so you kind of want to be, limited on what you do. So duck and cover is only 2 points, and it's really easy to put on. Up close and personal is at least going to give him another dodge after he makes a move, attack at range 1 to 2. Maybe he's got those 2, dodges on him. You make a up close and personal, you're going to get a 3rd one. Now he's got a command card, his 1 pip that allows him to do gunslinger. So you wouldn't be able to take advantage of those 2, dodges that you get unless you decided to go ahead and put a comms relay on him. So that way he always gets those two dodges. And then, like I said, you can put the up close and personal on him. If you really wanted, you might as well, if you feel like it, you can put the Electro Gauntlets on there. Anything to stop someone from doing anything. So say that you just even used this for a core unit that was holding the hostage. This could at least probably either take out the entire unit. And if it doesn't, it's at least immobilized and definitely not moving. And this is also really good for any Mando because they're going to have speed 3. So this is really going to be able to stop any kind of like Gar Saxon or the new Shadow Collective stuff. So it could be a safe bet to do. Now, your core, obviously you're going to need some core. Let's see, what did I do? I think I did Nakey. No, all right, so let's see. I did some Stormtrooper or Shore Troopers with the mortar. Gave them the heavy, went ahead and doubled them. I think I had a medic just to make sure that Boba Fett or Cad Bane, if you can get into range, would be safe. You're welcome to probably put a recon intel on the Shore Trooper with the medic, but we have no melee threats really to begin with. So say that there's a force user going through, you can use Cad Bane or Boba Fett's 1 pip. So Cad Bane can use electro gauntlets to kind of slow down a force user. Then you could use Boba Fett to kind of use his 1 pip to continue slowing down the force user. Or again, you can do it to stop a hostage exchange. You can do it to try and stop bombing run. So there's a lot of good things that you can do with these, but we need some sort of either fast paced stuff or we need some sort of melee based stuff. So I'm going to go with the Dewback Riders, and I did 3 of them. And I did the T21 blaster with the 4 white, range 1 to 3, critical 2. So not bad, really, really good. And then I also added tenacity just to make sure that he added that 1 extra red dice since he already surges. That's going to be just fantastic. So I did 3 of those. Now, obviously, we have 14 extra points that because I used Bossk, so the points are a little bit different. So if you really wanted to, you could take off the emergency transponder from him. You can take off the electro gauntlets from him. And you've got your 10 activations. You've got your Boba Fett, your Cad Bane, and your Shore Troopers with the medic. If you really wanted to add that back, you could. If you wanted a bid, you could just take off up close and personal and go with duck and cover. Since that's going to help a lot, that gives you 3 points. And still long range firepower with the core. You've got some dewbacks tying up some units that need to be tied up. And then you have Cad Bane and Boba Fett going after the leaders. So that way you can cut off the command cards and do what you can. So what I did when what happened with me is we had bombing run. And I just put all of my bombs on the Dewback Riders and spurred as much as I could in there. And then did that. Now, the other thing you can do is you can go down into 2 Dewback Riders and do something totally different. So maybe you want 2 Dewback Riders and you don't have any special forces. So honestly, you could probably give Cad Bane the electric gauntlets back. You can go with, you've got, 70 points available. You could probably go with, a full scout trooper with the strike team, or sorry, not them, the Sonic Charger. You'd have to get rid of probably, I'd get rid of duck and cover. Keep the electro gauntlets, keep them in close. You can do that. Maybe you didn't want, the comms relay. Maybe you want him to get those orders. You keep that on there. You go ahead and upgrade the full scouts to the, sniper. You still got a 3-point bid. There's a lot of things that you can still do. So maybe you don't want the gauntlets. Maybe you do want the comms relay. That's just up to you. But that's 10 activations. That's 3 to 2 Dewback Riders and Cad Bane and Boba Fett. Now I'm going to leave the one that I did with Bossk, but we'll go ahead and just kind of do a little Bossk list. We're just going to basically take what I had, get rid of Cad, and give us Bossk. And with him, there's really not much that you have to upgrade, and there's not much that you actually do get to use to upgrade. But for the most part, targeting scopes and hunter were all that you need. That leaves you at 798, 10 activations, 3 full Dewback Riders. You've got 4 good core with the T21s and the medical droid. all of these give out some good suppression. So the mortars are going to give out some good suppression. The Bossk's mortar is going to give out some good suppression. The short troopers are going to be able to reach out pretty far. The Dewback Riders are hopefully going to be getting in from that. And then Boba Fett, is trying to go after, obviously, your bounty, and your Imperial officer is just supporting your shore troopers. That's pretty much everything. Your shore troopers can follow Boba Fett and or Bossk or the Dewback Riders. It's kind of up to you on what you feel like you need. You can use the Dewback Riders for so many things. So kind of for the objectives, what I would go through is, obviously, we have 10 activations. So that's a lot of good activations. And then your Dewback Riders can move really well, but they're also really good at defense because they've got the armor 1. They're really good at melee, and they're decently good at their ranged attacks. So because you've got a really solid amount of, your front linemen, payload wouldn't be that bad. You do have Boba Fett, who can wield a bomb if he needs to get in speed 3. You can also do your Dewback Rider, since they are going to be kind of tanky. And if that's the case, maybe instead of tenacity on them, you choose to get rid of maybe prepared supplies off Boba Fett, and then give them instead the endurance. So that way you can make sure that you spur and take off that suppression. So that way you kind of get a speed 2 for free. So that's one way of doing it. You don't have to have tenacity, since they already do roll 6 dice. It's not the worst thing. And you can take an aim, spur, and still get your melee in if you needed to. So if you wanted to change tenacity out for endurance, feel free. Okay. Maybe you wanted to save one of tenacity and you chose the other 2 to maybe go with endurance, and without changing anything. Oh, it's 6 points. Sorry, my bad. You can go with one with endurance and keep the other one with tenacity and have a full just 800-point list. Okay. Maybe it's just up to you guys what you want to do. But yeah, this is what I did. And I think this is the exact list that I used. So yeah, if you guys got any questions, feel free to let me know. And yeah, so the command cards, I'll go over those real quick. Whipcord launcher for sure. You can go with covert observation, since it is giving it to your bounty hunters, but that's just up to you. You can also go with Merciless Munitions. And the why I say you can go with this is if you are playing either payload or bombing run, or let's see. So say that you want hostage exchange because you've got the mortar that you can give it to at least to begin with. Since it's not claiming anything, it's just starting with it. And then you do sabotage the moisture evaporators. That wouldn't be that hard with your shore troopers in the back being able to shoot long range. And then you can do one more. So recover the supplies. Supplies wouldn't be that bad. Key positions with 3 Dewback Riders wouldn't also be that bad. So you can go with those. And then with deployment, advanced positions, just because you've got a ton of troopers, you can go with disarray, because you've got the ability for your Imperial officer and your shore troopers to go ahead and be in one of those. And then your Boba Fett and Bossk and your Dewback Riders can be in another one. Maybe you save a Dewback Rider to go in one with the shore troopers and the mortar and the Imperial officer. And then maybe Boba Fett and Bossk and 2 Dews go on their own. You kind of got 5 threat, units. So there's a lot that you can do. I wouldn't go with the Long March, only because you're basically going with payload and hostage exchange, which are kind of moving. So major offensive would also be pretty good. And then since you could be possibly blue player. And if you are playing all of these with either bombing run or hostage exchange, this could be good and or bad. So just kind of depends. Battle lines also wouldn't be that bad. And you have to be just very, very careful of how you are running it. So if you do battle lines, then just kidding. So I would use your Dewbacks to make sure that you give them the bombs, and then maybe use Bossk and Boba Fett, and the fact that they're pretty mobile, with Bossk using scale a lot, and then Boba Fett using his jump too. And I didn't really kind of go over Bossk. Bossk has bounty, just like Boba Fett. So you can place, a bounty with the commander and an operative. So that way you have 2 chances of getting your bounty. He's got Enraged 3. So after he has 3 health removed, he can become enraged and he's going to gain charge, and suppression will not matter for him. And then you can do, he's going to have independent surge too. So he's going to have 2 surge tokens for defense, and then regenerate 3. So you can roll 3 white defense dice, and any paint you get, you're going to be able to basically regenerate. So yeah, so at the end of the activation, roll 1 white defense dice for each wound you have, up to 3. And then for each defense, surge, or block, remove up to 1 token. Okay. And then scale. So at the beginning or end of a movement, you can, make a free clamber action basically. So they're pretty mobile. So those wouldn't be that bad to use. And then for the conditions, if you really want to get set up into position, you can go with limited visibility. Clear conditions wouldn't be that bad. You could go with supply drop and fortify positions just to make sure that you're safe for sure. And because you're moving a lot, minefield might not be the best. Rapid reinforcements, because you only have 10 activations, you might want to hold off on. If you had 11 or more, I would definitely say probably go with that one. And then hostile environment, sure. Now you've got the ability to hand out suppression like crazy, and Bossk and Boba Fett have courage. Well, Boba Fett has courage 3. Bossk has courage 2. If you were to go change out Bossk for Cad Bane, I would probably go with hostile environment, just because of the fact that they've got courage 3, so they're not going to be going anywhere, and everyone else is handing out suppression. Then go ahead. But since Bossk is also handing out a ton of suppression with the mortars, you might want to go with hostile environment, and the chances of getting it, are still pretty slim. So go with that. Like I said, his command card with Merciless Munitions, the reason I would go with this one is because you can lay out a bomb for the bomb cart people, or, to block a pathway. That's just one way of doing it. If you just want to go with ambush because maybe you want to give it to a Dewback Rider at the time, you can leave those options open. It's just up to you. So we're going to go with Merciless. I definitely went with Reptilian Rampage. The ZX Flame Projector is a possible good one, but because, heavy melee units are sometimes little, and like four minis in the unit, but pack a punch, this isn't going to do the most. At most, it's probably going to do 7 red dice, but maybe they've got 3 health each, like Wookiees, or 2 health each. Maybe you're only taking out 1 to 2 possible minis, which is okay, because you're getting to add your 3 red. It's just, do you want Boba Fett to have this or not? And you've got to put it in the right position. Push might also be really good, because you're going to be able to give it out to those Dewback Riders when you need it to. The jetpack rocket, I would definitely go with, because this is going to be great for claiming that bounty at a long range with 3 red and 2 black at Pierce 1, Impact 2, Sharpshooter 2, all that good stuff. So I definitely went with that one. You can go with lying in wait with Bossk being able to, gain aims after an enemy unit activates. You just got to make sure he's in the right spot. But honestly, I would probably go with Assault over that. All right. So yeah, there you go, guys. This is the double bounty lists that you can do and enjoy whenever you're playing Empire. And hopefully you guys win like I did when you were playing this. And it's okay. I like it. I like the fact that there's 5 threats. I like the fact that there's the 3 Dewback Riders that can do so much. The fact that they can move, and then still have Relentless to shoot their 4 white at range 3, critical 2, or whenever they're in melee, 4 red and 3 white. Yeah, so goodbye to little tiny droids. It should hopefully take out as many, rebels as possible. So they're great units at tying all of them up and preventing other people from getting objectives as well. So yeah. All right, guys, if you go ahead and like this video, that'd be awesome. Go ahead and subscribe for sure. And then leave a comment below with another list you'd like to see, or list that you've played and ran before with double bounty and won, or, just kind of objectives that you think they do well at, or strategies, anything to help people who are watching this video to kind of get a better understanding of double bounty and ways to use them. But all right, guys, catch you later. hopefully tomorrow and another list, and we'll start going over some battle forces soon. And if you guys have, an idea for a battle force or anything like that, I've seen a few online, and yeah, we'll go from there. Also, another thing, do people like 9 activation lists? That was a good question. That's the question I want to know. Do people really, really like 9 activations, and do they really, really work for you? I've only seen one 9-act list do really, really well, and it was Rebels. But I just want to know your guys' opinion. So go ahead, let me know below if you think that, yeah. All right. Deuces, guys, and I'll see you later. Man, I cannot talk at the end.